So, ladies and gentlemen, every month at Pope Theology, we partner with a cause, whether they be local or global, to let you know about somebody in our world filling the world up with more faith, hope, and love than it had the day before. And this charity is close to my heart. The people that started it, their names are Drew and Asher Colley. And I knew them when Drew was just a lowly barista at a local Starbucks. And while I was getting my morning Java, we got talking. And now he and his wife have a couple kids, and they lived in Asheville, North Carolina until just this week, and they've sold their house because they're about to move to Africa. And you're going to hear a little bit tonight, not from them because they're selling their house in North Carolina, and
I get asked all the time, why Soul Hope? How did you start Soul Hope? And I have to just say it was one evening when I was sitting in my living room reading a blog. I saw a video that was detailing the plight of jiggers, which are parasites that burrow deep into the feet of children and elderly predominantly. And the video was just showing these parasites being removed from their feet, and it really tugged at my heartstrings. Many of these children were the ages of my own children. And I just put myself in those mothers' situations as they're holding their children and seeing the pain that they're going through. And I said, there has to be something I can do, something that can make a difference. And I chose at that moment to do something, even though I didn't know what it was going to be. I knew that I could turn away and pretend like it was something that wasn't my problem, or I could do what I could to help the situation. Our mission is to provide hope for widows, orphans, and others in impoverished and forgotten communities around the world through the simple trade of shoemaking. This provides jobs and shoes to those in need.
On my most recent trip to Uganda, I saw several hundred children from the villages and slums that had never worn any shoes at all. These children walk around in very unsanitary conditions. A lot of them have scrapes and cuts on their feet, and things called jiggers get in their feet, which is a sand flea, and it gets under their nails and breeds. And sometimes this even leads to loss of toes or loss of feet and paralysis in extreme conditions. For those children that have jiggers, the only way to get them out is to cut their feet and use a pin to pick them out. A lot of times this pin is dirty and it's shared between several children, and that increases the chance of the spread of disease, sometimes even AIDS. You know, here's the thing. Most of these children, they can't take care of themselves, and the adults that have been put in charge of them, they often think that these diseases are a form of witchcraft. So to think that they would even be proactive in taking care of their feet or teaching them how to take care of their feet, it's not a consideration. So how can you help with this cause? There are several ways. One would be just telling everyone you know. Tell your mom, your uncle, your next door neighbor. Spread it around on Facebook, on Twitter. Another way you can be involved is to hold a shoe cutting party. These are happening all over the United States. We send you everything you need to know. You gather the fabric, you gather the people and the hands to start the process of getting a shoe on a foot of a child that needs it. There are many other ways that you can get involved. For more details, check out our website, www.soulhope.org.
Soul Hope is our cause for the month, and you guys get a little picture of what they're doing, what they're trying to accomplish. And we don't think about stuff like this very often. I don't know if you're like me, but I have quite a few pairs of shoes at home, and I don't ever think about having some kind of parasite in my foot that's going to make me paralyzed. I usually think about, am I wearing the right color of shoe that matches with the outfit that I'm wearing? And the crazy thing about Drew and Asher is, like Asher said in that video, is that she just saw this video on the internet about these kids, and instead of thinking to herself, you know what, I can just turn the TV off and pretend like I didn't see this and that this doesn't exist every day, or I can actually do something about it. And they got involved in this cause. and they started finding out ways that they could partner with people that were there in Africa. And what they do is they actually have widows there in Africa that sew the shoes together, and they give them to these orphan kids. It's pretty amazing. And actually what's happening right now, I just talked to Drew this week. They've just sold their house. They were doing a trip every 6 weeks to go over there and try to change the life of these kids. And they realized they didn't think they could have that great of impact by just going every 6 weeks. And so they've got 2 little kids that I think are like 4 years and 6 years old, something like that. And they're having another baby in the next 30 days or something like that. And they'll take a 3-month-old little baby with them over to Africa because they're just compelled to make a change in the world. And what Drew told me this week on the phone was that their goal in life is to eradicate these jiggers and these debilitating diseases from a geographic area in the world. And that's pretty amazing. I don't know what you woke up this morning thinking was the compelling vision of your life, but I'm going to guess that none of us were thinking, you know what, I'm going to completely change an entire geographic area of the globe. And that's what Soul Hope's trying to do. And we have a representative from Soul Hope here tonight. Mindy's going to make her way to the stage. Let's make Mindy feel very welcome at the Pub Theology stage tonight. Mindy, you can grab this mic. Now, Mindy, you volunteer with Soul Hope and what they're doing. What brought you to want to get involved with what Soul Hope's doing?
Well, I've always been really drawn to helping orphans. My youngest sister is adopted from China, and currently I'm studying social work at Ball State. I really want to get involved in international adoption.
Yeah.
And I've always been really drawn to Africa. It's always been something, someplace I wanted to go, somewhere I've wanted to help out, travel on mission trips and things like that. And so when my mom found this link through her blog, she was blogging with her friends, and someone found the link and she sent it to me. Immediately, it was something I, of course, wanted to get involved in. And then I noticed on the Soul Hope Facebook page they were looking for ambassadors for the Indianapolis area. And so immediately I contacted them, and I was so excited to get started. And I'm just really happy to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you been on a trip yet with them over to Africa?
No, but I'm very anxious to go.
Very anxious to go?
Anxious,
yeah.
Yes.
So what's, can you share with us anything that's happening, right now with Soul Hope that would allow us to know how to get more involved with what they're doing?
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of ways you can get involved in Soul Hope. The main way people are getting involved is by hosting shoe cutting parties, where you cut out the tops of the shoes, and then you send them to the Soul Hope company down in Asheville, and then they send them over to Uganda, where the widows and the underprivileged Ugandans will put the bottoms on them, and then they will be dispersed to tribes and local communities over in Africa.
So are the widows and the ladies that are sewing them in Uganda, is this an actual job for them as well?
Yes, they're hired by Soul Hope, and then once they make the shoes, Soul Hope buys them back from the women, and then those women use that money for their livelihood.
So not only are you guys putting shoes on the feet of these kids that are having this debilitating disease, but it's actually creating kind of a microfinance right there in the villages to be able to give the ladies hope and the ability to actually be employed.
Right. Soul Hope really wants to offer hope and freedom from this foot infectious disease through 3 main venues: jobs, creating jobs for the widows over in Uganda, educating both people over in the States and over in Africa, and by providing medical relief for those already affected by the diseases in their feet.
Absolutely. We're going to be with Soul Hope all month, and at the end of the month, the last Pub Theology of the month, we're actually going to have a shoe cutting party for the entire time at Pub Theology. So if you can come out the last Thursday of this month up to Wolfie's Grill on the marina, we'll be having a shoe cutting party the whole time. What kind of materials do we need to use for stuff like that, Mindy? Is there specific things that they look for, fabrics, or what does that look like?
A lot of people really like to use like old jeans, like a pair of jeans in your closet that doesn't fit anymore. A pair of jeans really goes a long way and makes a lot of shoes. It doesn't take very much to make the top of a shoe. Anything like that, or just like old like jackets. We're not very picky. Anything will really work. They don't have to be cute or trendy or anything like that.
Yeah, absolutely. There'll be more information on the Pub Theology website about how to do that, and you don't just have to come to Pub Theology to do that. They could host a shoe cutting party even at their own house. Is that correct?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be in like a Starbucks or a Panera or anything like that. It can be at your home with your friends. It can be as small as 5 people or as big as 100 people. It doesn't matter. We just want everyone to get the word out and to get involved.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Guys, it's cool to see something like Soul Hope that started in the hearts of just some regular people like you and me. They were Hoosiers, and they moved to North Carolina, but they were Hoosiers, and they just thought, you know what, we can make a difference in this world, and they are. And so we want to let you know about it and let you get to be a part of what's going on. Many thanks.